We are living in a time of great remembering. Many beautiful souls are hearing the call to awaken to a new consciousness. They are walking through their own dark night and unraveling, questioning, and shedding who they thought they were. And when this awakening happens, something shifts. The focus often moves from me to how do I serve and share this with other people. And because so many people are remembering their medicine, there comes this rush of excitement and a rush to share, a rush to guide, and a rush to hold others. And sometimes this happens beyond what we have truly lived and integrated ourselves. We may have just gone to a retreat or experienced one ceremony and then think, this is great, I want to share this with everyone else too. And unfortunately, it can be confronting to see the wellness spirituality trend become quite aesthetic and become this brand. I feel a lot of frustration arrive when I see a lot of this happening. And I always remind myself that we must stay compassionate. People don't know what they don't know. And we were all new once, and we are always students, always on this path of learning. And the only real anchor is to continue on our path, on our own path. And that is embracing both the heavy and the light parts of ourselves. So here's something just to remember is we're not healers and we're not here to fix anyone, but we are space holders. And holding space for others is really a way to help them or to let them meet their own magnificence and their own darkness. And the only way to hold powerful transformational spaces is to be willing to go to those deep places, the magnificence and the darkness within ourselves, and to keep doing the work ourselves. Keep integrating those disowned pieces, the shadows, the shame, the grief, the ego, the projections. Our medicine is not something we declare, but it's something we really develop through embodiment. And the more, and also something that comes, I guess, naturally to us. And the more of yourself that you have met and integrated, the more capacity you have to sit with someone else and to meet them in those same places, or let them meet themselves in those same places. There's always more to learn, deeper to go, higher to grow. And remember that people are not drawn to your title, but they are drawn to your frequency. And when you truly know yourself, your triggers, your wounds, your blind spots, both the dark and the light, you then become a safe mirror. And what you haven't owned within yourself often gets reflected back to you in the spaces that you hold. So self-awareness is not an option, it's a foundation. The tools we carry and that we share with the world should have been the ones that we have used on ourselves, the ones that we know work. And I know some of the most powerful space holders are really those that are willing to sit in their silence, to sit in their own darkness without needing to fix it, but seeing it with acceptance, honoring, and just a deep, deep reverence. Remember that everything is frequency. Energy is frequency. Everything is energy. And we love to label energy as good or bad or right or wrong, but energy in itself is neutral. It's how we meet it that matters, how we perceive it, how we let it move through us, how we let it affect us. And all of these challenging experiences that move through us are initiations in our lives. And if we stop resisting them and maybe stop trying to spiritually bypass them, we really can move into deeper alignment. So remember that healing is not linear, it's a spiral. We can revisit the same lessons over and over, but each time at a new depth. And we continue to do our inner work because we must. And because the more we do our inner work and the more we raise our frequency, the more we can then help the greater part of the greater web. The more every shift we make can make a ripple effect outwards into the lives around us. But there is also choice. We don't have to be in this endless healing loop. this constant searching of what's wrong with me and what's wrong with the world and how do I fix it. It's often about how do we choose to hold our own frequency, and what do we choose to shape us? What do we allow in? And when this high frequency moves through in ceremony or in ritual, it often highlights where we are still operating from old conditioning. And that misalignment will come to the surface, not to shame us, but to liberate us so that we're reminded of what we still need to work on. And then once we're working on it, we can then anchor ourselves back into our nervous system, back into our own aligned frequency of our body. And then when we slip back, we notice we can gently return without beating ourselves up, but with a deep sense of compassion. And the tricky thing is there is so much upheaval on the planet. There are old systems collapsing and more will fall. And the more stable we become in our own frequency, the truth of who we are, the less we are thrown by the external chaos around it. It's not about burying our head in the sand, but we start to realize that we have a sovereign choice. We stop wanting to change the world. First, we realize how we need to find peace within ourselves. Then, once we are mindful of what we are consuming, where our attention goes, the emotional hijacking and the distraction, once we can pull our energy back in and stay centered, strengthening our spiritual muscles, and having compassion without drowning in empathy, being grounded in ourselves, we can then collectively direct energy towards things that need resolution, direct our energy outwards without becoming overwhelmed, but with coming from a place of real inner strength. So it begins with us, the accountability, and we invite this reflection in others so that they are also humble enough to receive it. But we must be willing to receive this reflection ourselves. So this is an invitation for us to step out from behind our identities and really into the deeper truth of who we are. And knowing that we may cause harm, but can we be accountable for it? We are not gurus. None of us are. No one is. This is about coming to an awakening of our own discernment, our own inner authority, our own remembering. Yes, we can learn from others, and yes, we need to, because they help us with our remembering. And all of these beautiful cultures that have kept the remembering going really do need to be honored and appreciated and acknowledged. And a lot of this remembering is deep within you. All of this that is being taught around you is just a catalyst. And so, yeah, I guess the idea is, can we be more self-aware, more psychologically awake, know where our boundaries are, and can we turn to that deeper inner work of devotion within ourselves, especially when we are feeling disillusioned? Can we stay in integrity, in accountability? Can we stay in truth? Can we stay in love? Because that healing field, the healing of the entire field, doesn't come from the outside in, doesn't come from the top down. It comes from the inside out. Each of us choosing to embody, to live and breathe our own path, our own frequency, standing in what we believe is true and strong, but living it within ourselves, first and foremost, living with peace, living with sovereignty, that can then have a positive effect on the rest of the world.